Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a Mother's Day special. And so many people have been asking me, how do I draw these trend lines? These trend lines have been just, a game changer for their entire game. And obviously, we do have a course here at T3, but a lot of people just really wanted to watch me draw them and see how I do them. I mean, you take a look at my charts. And just looking at the daily charts here, it just seems like crazy. Like here are my spider trend lines, and you're like, how can you use all that? How does it make sense? But if you actually, stop and look at it for a second, you'll notice, for example, that Friday's high, just I guess using this as an example since I have the spider chart up, you'll see that you have algorithmic trend line right over here at $422.62 right here. And the day high on the spider is $422.82. And what I guess I am predicting here is that you can actually predict with some great accuracy where the market could top and bottom before it happens. So yeah, so just for example, to show you it here, you'll see that my levels for May 7th, which were posted on May 6th, we give you guys these levels the day before. You'll see, for example, the spider resistance right here is $422.62 right there on the resistance side. So that's utilizing our methodology. You could actually predict it, but there's a lot of trend lines, for example. Some of them are old, like I'll never use. For example, probably this one, down here, the spiders are probably not going to $100. And if it takes more than a year, this trend line will go less than zero. So a lot of the trend lines are not being used right now. And I figured I would just do a special today and actually show you, how I actually draw these trend lines. Just sort of get into a little bit of a trend line drawing trance, if you will, and literally show you myself drawing the trend lines for the Qs, Spiders, IWM, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google, Gold, that's GLD, USO, S&P 500, Microsoft, and Tesla. Figured would do a little drawing thing. So I'm going to delete the drawings. I'm going to start from the top down. I'm going to delete all these drawings on the triple Qs. You get some fresh, fresh look at where these levels could be in the market. Um, and yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. And you're probably watching now and you're probably wondering like what makes these levels legit or what makes them illegitimate. And it's a methodology that I consider my life's one of the biggest contributions I think I'll ever make to day traders. It is based on my life's work, which is, of course, the algorithmic trendline course offered here, and it allows me to very accurately um, predict support and resistance levels and utilize them throughout my day to make trades. Yes, I do make, even if some people directly trade off these trend lines, off these support and resistance levels. I'm sure some of you watching now are just wondering how to use them. But you know, overall, I will say that these trend lines have been an absolute game changer for me. It changes the way that I view the entire market, and it's, changed every which way in terms of the way I think, the way I think about trading, and the way I think about, just trading in general, I guess. So right there. I'm not going to go over a deep explanation for why these algorithmic trend lines are legitimate, but I'll put it this way. There are methodologies to see how legitimate they are. They're not just random drawings. I think people in this industry sort of get to the point where they, this is going to be a fun one to delete. Boom. People sort of get inside the mindset where they draw trend lines and they're drawn grossly incorrectly. Like some people will just take a trend line here, for example, like on the spiders, and forget about all the other technical stuff here, and they'll just be like, all right, here's a trend line here, here's a trend line like here, and they'll just draw very like flat lines left to right. That is a very sloppy way to do it. Traders who, I know traders who make money who draw these things incorrectly. And the beautiful thing that I think I want to portray to you guys um, through this trend line demonstration is that it's a science. It's a science. I mean, how often have you seen me, accurately predict the top or bottom of the market? And the answer is probably quite often. Probably quite often. Because I use these trend lines. There are people inside our service who actually do nothing but these trend lines. It's a very important factor in trading. It was one of the reasons why I bought Amazon, and I bought those Amazon calls, and I was explaining why I bought Amazon overnight. The trend lines was, in all fairness, just one of the reasons. And yeah, I was just really, happy to share this with you guys. 339.08. Again, this is drawing a trend line is not an estimation, it's an exact science. So a lot of times, of course, you'll see me come out and literally give a number to like the cent, like 79 cents. Trend lines are not meant to be an estimation. The problem is when you start estimating trend lines and you start saying, it's around here, or it's around there. The problem is when you actually start doing that is you give yourself a wide range to be wrong. You give yourself a very wide range to be wrong. My argument is calling the top of the spiders on Friday was predictable the day before. So you have to understand that in trading, there's always the people who can look at a chart, tell you what happened. We moved up here, you set your stop here, and then you could have wrote it here, and they'll come out and tell you that. I mean, yeah, everybody likes being a Monday night quarterback in my business. Everybody likes, almost like, I almost feel like a lot of these gurus are like news reporters. They like report to you what actually happened in the stock. The spiders on Friday had a nice little rally, closing at all-time highs above the Bollinger Band resistance. You could see that it broke through this 420.72 level here and kept going. And it's like, yeah, well, anybody with a chart and and half a working eyeball will be able to tell you that. So yeah, I just when people draw these trend lines and whatnot, it is a science. Like I could tell you right now, for example, from this trend line I drawn, that if for whatever reason in the world the spiders hit 418.60 on Monday with practically short meteor hitting the earth, exchange going down, the time ticking 4 o'clock as the market closes. Other than like extraordinary circumstances, practically with 100% chance, if the spiders hit $418.60 on Monday, on Monday, tomorrow, you're going to have a huge volume expansion. You look literally on a 1 second or a 1 minute chart, you'll literally see it the moment it hits 418.60. If it does, considering it wants to go down, you're going to have an extreme amount of volume. And I could tell that just by drawing that trend line, understanding my methodologies and how they work. So it is quite a magical. Here's the IWM. All the trend lines I have on IWM, we're going to delete them all. Something very therapeutic about deleting these trend lines. It just, it feels like almost like just that release. Like, oh God, it's so satisfying to just like take out these trend lines and just sort of, just start afresh, start anew. Start fresh, start anew. It's just a really, for me at this point, it's almost like therapeutic to draw these lines. It just comes so instantly. I mean, at this point, I'm probably dealing with 80 to 100,000 hours of utilizing this methodology, maybe more. It took me about 16 years to develop this methodology, and I've been trading 22 years to trader date myself. Um, and it's a really pleasurable thing. It could literally help you remain disciplined doing something like this, and you might say, well, how does it help you, remain disciplined? And a lot of traders come to me all the time. They're like, Mark, if I'm ever having a hard time or I just want to take it easy or I'm going somewhere, I'll just literally set alerts on my charts for certain levels, just set up some buy orders, some, things along that line, and I'll just literally wait for the trade to come to me. And it could easily help you with your discipline, with your confidence, and that's a very big thing. Here we got Facebook. Facebook was one of them I deleted recently. As you see, there are very few lines, but I'll just start afresh again. And I know some of you are probably looking like, why this line and not that line? Why that line and not this line? I'm telling you right now, Trendlines is a science. It's a science. The robots understand it to a science. That is how we are so able to often accurately predict the top and bottom within a microcosm of a range on some of the biggest names on Wall Street, from Spiders, S&P 500, the Nasdaq, the Apples, the Microsofts. And a lot of times these levels just won't hit. A lot of times you'll be looking at the levels I'm showing you here, and they just simply will never come into fruition. They simply just won't ever happen on a single day. But that's why you draw them and they extend out, because in the future, you never know when these lines are going to hit. That's why they're important today. And yeah, like I've had stocks which have hit trend lines from a while ago. And I drew a trend line maybe 3 years ago, and all of a sudden the trend line hits, and bang, just out of nowhere, make thousands of dollars in a matter of minutes, just because that a major trend line hit, and I was able to jump in and take advantage of it. So it's a very powerful tool. I want to also mention, you'll notice right here. Um, I guess I'll show you on the next chart, but very important as well. You'll notice that my trend lines snap to fit. Here's my Apple trend lines. Looks like Spider-Man got drunk one night and started spewing out things. We're going to go ahead and delete them. It's very important when you draw trend lines, like I'll show you, that they snap to the top. Like some people like to draw trend lines and they'll go like this. And they'll try to like aim it like exactly like that, and they'll play with it. That's a very easy way to get a bad level. You have to start with a trend line that snaps. So you'll notice right here, it snaps. You see that? Here, I'll zoom in to make it easier for you to see. You'll notice the trend line snaps. So TC2000 and free stock charts have this ability. You'll see if I move it down a little, you see how it just snaps there? It snaps to the bottom or top of the candlesticks, or even the bodies. You're never supposed to draw a trend line starting from the inside of a body. You're always supposed to take the tails into effect. I think at this point, I've almost statistically proven that as fact, not opinion at this point. I know some of you are probably like, Mark, I've been trading, just as long as you, maybe longer. I've been drawing trend lines like this since whatever. We're in a new day and age. This is robots now. We have robots trading it. The robots are phenomenally precise. They are precise. The robots, when you have an algorithm, they're not saying yeah, this is about the support level over here. This is about where you can find it. Robots just don't, in quotes, think like that. They are designed to be perfectionist, and you can really draw the perfect trend line. I'm not saying you could be a perfect human being. You don't have to be, you don't have to, go with Elon Musk's Neuralink. Has anybody actually seen him on SNL? It's actually pretty funny. He actually did a great job. I was actually quite proud of him. He's like, I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, look, I'm trying to create electric cars and send humans to Mars. Do you think I'm just going to be some normal, chill dude? He was like making fun of his Twitter posts and stuff. It was actually really good. The Elon Musk on SNL. I haven't turned on SNL in forever, but I saw like like the YouTube skit of it. So it was really good, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So yeah, I mean, trend lines are an exact science. It's something that, it's just a beautiful way of doing analysis. And what you're going to realize is the way I do it is always confirmed by algorithmic volume. Like I could take the biggest names, public companies in the world, for ironically, I have Apple up on the screen, and I could literally predict literally a month from now where Apple would elevate in volume. So, like, if I, whether even if it went up or down. So, let's say I could tell you right now on July 2nd, if for whatever reason Apple hits on July 2nd, $114.48. On July 2nd, I could go out further. On July 2nd, you hit 114.48. Apple is going to explode in volume right at that point to the penny. Not at 114.49, 114.48. And it's that sort of knowledge which literally translates into power. That sort of knowledge translates into power. Amazon, another name that we're all over, that we trade all the time. And I know some of you with you might be sitting there like, Mark, I have a small account. How do I trade Amazon? There are people with small accounts trading Amazon every day. There's options. They're very cheap. Some people are very intimidated by options. I am. I mean, I was, but when I first started, I was intimidated by it. I have to learn all these Greeks. It was confusing. Common stock was much easier to understand. I didn't want to deal with it. Trading options has changed people's lives. It literally has just changed people's lives. And I think that's very important to know, that you change people's lives through it, through trading options. I mean, somebody comes in, I'm not supposed, obviously, I'm not going to say, everybody's results are identical, but I've seen enough of it at this point. People with, $1,500 accounts turning them into 700,000 here in about a year. I mean, we've seen some magical stories, and I don't believe that would have been possible without the power of options. Everything has its risk. I'm not telling anybody to trade options, of course, but people with small accounts can trade Amazon. I mean, I don't trade Amazon shares. Yeah. I mean, other than earnings, when I nailed it on earnings, but as a generalization, I don't trade Amazon shares at all. Like, to me, there's just I'm not. What am I going to do? Take 100 shares like of take 100 shares of of Amazon? I mean, I could, but much rather uh, much rather buy like 30, 40, 50 option contracts as opposed to 100 shares. I'd actually be more comfortable with that, ironically, despite the fact that it's so much heavier. Ooh, interesting one here. And also just remember today's Mother's Day. I'll tell you right now, um, if there is a mother in which you love, whether it's your girlfriend, your wife, a sister, your actual mother, grandmother, anybody you know who's a mother. Sounds crazy. I even tell people to, like, if your pet is a mother, if you have a dog and the dog had kids, take care of the mothers today. Women are amazing, amazing traders, as you know. I'll swear by it that women are the best traders on the planet. They have, it's almost magical how well women can handle situations better than men. As a generalization, everybody, of course, there'll always be an exception to the rule, but women are the best traders out there. A lot of the women inside our room are mothers, and you know, whether even if you have pets, Even if you're a mother and you have like a dog or a cat, to that animal, you are a mother. So definitely show some love for a woman that you know is a mother and whom you love. Again, could be doesn't have to be your mother. Maybe you have an estranged relationship. I don't know. Maybe you don't, maybe you're not on speaking terms with some of these people, but it's definitely, oops, I started drawing before I deleted Google here. It's definitely one of those things where you want to show a lot of love and appreciation. We've done a lot of charity work here. There's a place in California that helps, women from abused families who have kids who have to take care of it and literally hold the fort down. We've made, I don't know, three, four, five, six, seven, eight donations to them already. So definitely show some love to a woman whether she's a mother to kids, a pet, whatever. She's taking care of someone important. Show a little love today. Let them know you care. I made, and you don't have to like spend money. I know money is tight for some people out there in the world, and God bless you. I know you're trying to make ends meet. What I did was I literally took a picture of my kids. I printed it out. I had each of my kids, I had my 2-year old put his foot on the scanner, and I scanned his foot, and then I had my 6-year old put his hand on the scanner, and we scanned his hand, and then I just cut out their foot and hand, put it on a cute picture of both of them together, and just said Happy Mother's Day on top. I literally went to Meme Generator and had it say Happy Mother's Day. I kid you not. It cost me, I don't know, with ink and everything, maybe 25 cents, and I made three of them. And it was just like, you know, just something special. You don't have to like go crazy. I'll be the first to admit I did not buy flowers this year, and I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Those flowers are gonna die. And it's still nice to buy flowers, but I mean, like, those flowers are gonna die. That little shitty piece of paper I printed out with the cute little picture with my children's feet and hands, that could last forever. And it also, whatever it is, whether you're on the rush or on the fly, you're trying to save money, you don't care, you just want to get a quick gift, go to your local supermarket. Most of them, I know Whole Foods has flowers. We have Wegmans out here, they have flowers. Most supermarkets out there actually sell flowers, so just make sure you pick up something. Even if you have a neighbor who is a mother, you could go up to her, give her a rose. You could do a lot. You could do a lot of really sweet, genuine things to show you what an awesome human being you are. Here's gold. To show what an awesome human being you are. And yeah, it's much love. We know nothing but love and respect for the ladies in the room here. Definitely show love for one in your life. It's funny because, you have so many old trend lines that you really didn't need anymore. So nice when it snaps. That's why I keep redrawing them. Yeah, there's some really nice trend lines there on GLD. What a wedge forming. It's the one asset I'll tell you right now makes no sense to me, ladies and gentlemen. With with the inflation that has happened, in my opinion, gold should be about 15 to 20 times higher. It is, I don't think undervalued quite explains how I feel about this asset. I don't really own it. I mean, I might have a gold chain somewhere. Actually, I don't like. Actually, this chain here I wear is actually silver. Um, But I'll tell you, like, I can't. It just feels artificially manipulated. That's the only explanation I have. I think if people just went out there and started just buying gold at current prices, I think in 10 years you would make like 30, 40, 50 times your money. Again, I'm not an investment advisor. Do your own research. Talk to some douchebag who, you know, read a test and copied a test because he's obviously or she's obviously more qualified to help you. I'm not giving investment advice ever, but I can't wrap my head around the inflation. I can't wrap my head around the inflation and the price of gold and silver. It just it doesn't compute in my head. It makes absolutely no sense. And I know people have been really I know people have had their fair share of people who talk the way I do. Oh yeah, you know, it's the dollar's going to worthlessness and the only thing's gonna matter is gold and silver and like bullets and canned food and I mean I'll tell you right now that was still is and was never me. Like I was never that person who believed that, but I mean nobody you have to think about with this pandemic. One thing people don't realize, I'm going to share a statistic with you that's going to blow your mind or should blow your mind, unless you, I guess, were already magically aware of it. Did you know? Did you know 34% of US household income comes from the government? A third, a little more than a third. 34%. Now, maybe the old me would have been like, oh, that's crazy. That's unsustainable. That's a bad job, government. I'm not here to judge. I don't really give a crap about the opinion anymore. And that also saves me as a trader when I stop caring about what I think is right and wrong morally. Your moral opinions on the market, you know, nobody really cares about it. You know, talk to your friends when you're drunk on a Tuesday night. Eh, Why were you drinking on a Tuesday night? But yeah, nobody really, you know, cares about the political stuff. If traders just, I mean, maybe you care, but I'm saying you shouldn't. I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to say, you know what? The government is printing trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars, and if we're giving 34%, if the U.S. household income, total U.S. household income, a third of it's from the government, there's only one way to sustain it, and that's printing more money. It's why for 2021 and back in December, I gave Flesh and Blood as my favorite idea, and it literally made Bitcoin look like a turtle since. I mean, some of these products right now are 10x from where we were talking about them. They're literally trading 10 times higher since December. So, I mean, I'm not saying there's nothing out there that didn't move 10 times in value since December, but I'm saying it's up there. And that's thanks to inflation. People are like, "Oh, Mark, you're such a genius. Wow, Mark, thanks so much for that flesh and blood call." People. I mean, I'm assuming just from what I've seen, there's a lot of millionaires who are just made on that one simple call. It's kind of crazy to think about how much money could be made in investing in these things. So, I'm just going to start over with the S&P, just as I draw lines, just talking some thoughts. And again, I'm not whatever. I don't give any legal advice. Everybody does their own thing. But the one place I would not want to have money is in the bank. For all those people who have huge credit card debt, mortgage debt, and everything, you just caught a break. You just caught a huge break. because what's going to happen is the value of your house is going to explode higher than your mortgage, and even with a deep mortgage, you'd be able to, sell your house, pay off your mortgage, and have a ton of money left over. I already made some crazy predictions, like some of these people living in these like $300,000 homes. I'm like, in like 2.5, 3 years, I think that's going to be worth like a million and change. I think you're just going to see things that are irreplicable start spiking, and nobody's talking about it, but lumber exploded, what, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of percent higher. Lumber, all these like natural supplies are going up before our eyes, and nobody's talking about it. It's just funny. So many, uh, I find it incredible, and this is why I try to open your mind, and I try to tell people, don't believe it. Don't believe a word I say. Don't believe a word he says. Everybody doesn't know what they're talking about for the most part. Do your own due diligence and see it for yourself. And that's what I encourage people to do. Stop listening to others and parroting it back as fact. I'll give you an example. It's so funny to see the Fed say, we're not afraid of any inflationary risk in this, and everybody's sitting there like, oh, right, they're not afraid of any inflationary risk. There's nothing to be afraid of on the inflationary front. I'm sitting there, I'm like, bro, are you crazy? What planet are you from? Did you go on SpaceX to Mars, and you're just coming back for the first time, and you're like, hey, what's fresh, boys? What's what's fresh, fam? Yeah, what's been happening while I was away? Oh, bro, you should have seen it. Like, we're seeing literally, this is not an opinion about inflation, unless you really think the price of a tree outside, lumber, should go up, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of a percent in months. You don't really believe that, right? You do think it's inflation, right? So when I see the Fed come out and say, no, no, we're not really worried about any inflationary risk at this time, I'm like, what do you mean inflationary risk? It already happened. It's almost like we're not worried about a dog taking a huge, massive dump on the floor. And I'm sitting there and I see the huge, massive dump on the floor already. And I'm like, you don't have to be worried about it. It's already there. Look, open your eyes. There's the shit. You smell it? Oh, it smells awful. There's the shit on the floor. What do you mean you're not afraid of inflationary risk? It's there. You don't have to be you don't have to be afraid of it, but it's inflating. So why are you talking about the inflationary risk? It's already inflating. So are you saying that going up hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of percent and printing the money we do is not worrisome? Okay, I can respect that, but don't I could agree to disagree. I will fight to the death for your right to say it, Janet Yellen. But come on, girl. Come on, Janet. You're not really saying that. They talk as if the inflation hasn't happened. That's what gets to me. And I'm a very simple guy. Like, I just like to use logic and whatnot. Just, I'm a simple college dropout who's from Brooklyn. I think that pretty much explains the way I think at this point. Like, Mark, what do you mean? Oh, no, no, he's from Brooklyn. No, I get it. Yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. We cool, we cool, we cool. Like, I'm telling you right now, like, it's just amazing. And all these feds are coming out, like Fed Harker and Fed this and Fed that and Fed this. And they're like, yeah, inflationary risk aren't. And I'm like, why are you talking about inflationary risk when it happened? I'd have a lot more respect to them if they say, yes, we've inflated, but we're not concerned about the rate of inflation. And I would say, all right, you know, we can agree to disagree. I respect what you're saying, but to come out and just literally say that like there's no inflation to me is blasphemous. It is absolutely blasphemous. And again, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. It makes it makes literally no sense to me because we are hyperinflating. Like people are looking at me and they're like, "Oh, that flesh and blood call was amazing." Yeah, it was, but half of it was the call I made. The other half was the fact that your dollar is sinking in value. Like, I don't want to sound a lot smarter than I'm not, you know? And I think if people were to just, that's why, even with like strategies and trading, ask anyone in the Newsbeat live room. I tell them this all the time. I want to help you find what you are best at. It has nothing to do with me, nothing to do with what I'm best at. I will take you. I want to be on that journey with you. I don't want to just tell you to do it. I want to be on that journey with you to help you find and discover indeed what it is that you're strong in. What are you best at? And up to Tesla. And I swear by that because I feel like Wall Street does whatever is best for their own marketing schemes. Well, they'll tell you, you're a day trader, you're a scalper, you're a swing trader, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. And I'm like, no, you're not. That's Bob. That's Jill. That's Jack. They're all from different places. They grew up with different things. They all have different strengths and different weaknesses. We need to help them exploit their strengths and we need to help them avoid their weaknesses. But that takes too much work. Wall Street doesn't like that because if you talk to people like that, you can't generalize and get millions of people to sign up for some subpar service out there that you think is good because you just haven't experienced what a real trading service is supposed to look like. And that's why I always try to open up people's eyes. I always try to, you know, I tell my room all the time, take everything I say with a grain of salt, see it for yourself, and then if you agree with me, you agree with me, but don't and look, I know in life there'll always be people who just do that. You build trust, you build repertoire with people. Eventually they're just gonna be like, yeah, I trust you because I've followed you in the past, whatever, and fine. Like maybe trust needs to be earned the real way, not here's my P&L, here's the size of my junk. How about you earn trust? How about you earn trust these days? How about instead of a phony marketing smile, instead of being some scumbag who, really doesn't give a shit about anyone, how about we really step up and open our eyes and learn things? Don't take one word. Don't, I'm telling you, these trend lines are good even right now. Don't believe me. You don't have to not believe me, but definitely don't believe me. Prove it for yourself. See it for yourself. Don't believe it until you can see it with your very own eyes. That is the point I'm making. That is the point I'm making. You got to see it to believe it. And, you know, so yeah, those are my trend lines. Just to do a quick recap, we got the triple Qs, spiders, IWM. Like you might hear it in my voice and I might get like a little worked up because I've you have to understand the frustrations that I have been around. I've been, running these rooms like this is my 14th year running a chat room. 14 years. So I've seen so much of it and I've seen so many lives destroyed by some of these things. That's why I get so emotional. Like, how do you not? Like, how do these people go on and smile when there are so many people hurting around them? Like, all right, fine, Mark, 100% of people don't succeed, but what are you doing for those people as they are struggling in the very service in which you signed them up for? I could tell you what I do. Videos, 7 days a week. Some of them you will see for those watching on YouTube right now or Facebook. You will see some of them here, obviously. But a lot of them I do private videos as well. Love a mother in your life. Open up your eyes. Don't believe anything anyone tells you. Approach everything. I don't want to say with skepticism or I'm not saying don't believe anyone, but I'm also saying not to believe anyone. I'm saying take everybody's words as information. Look at it on your own charts, look at it on your own sense, do your own thing, and then form your belief. And I think that's very important. Respect has to be earned. It's not bestowed upon people based on their accomplishments elsewhere. Respect in the market is earned through your growth, through your P&L, for how you're progressing. And if you're out there, you should have somebody fighting with you. You shouldn't have somebody here talking nice to you. Oh, I do this and swipe your credit card here, and why don't you try that? And that might. No, you need somebody who's going to be on top of you all the time, answering your emails, answering your questions, on top of you, doing live videos for you, addressing your problems, trying to figure out what you need to do to get to that level in which you expected to get to when you first started trading. And if you're accepting anything less than that, you're doing yourself a disservice, not the person you're paying money to. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Show a lot of love for Mother's Day. We love all you mothers out there. I think women are superhumans. They have this magical ability to create human beings. They also have a magical ability to trade better than most men on average. You women are superheroes. You have nothing but my utmost love and respect. I'm going to go show the mothers in my life right now how much that I love them and how much they mean to me because they literally hold my world together. I love you guys immensely. Happy trading, make money. Happy Mother's Day. I'll see you tonight on the Newsbeat live trading broadcast. And for the Newsbeat,